Have you ever felt that there's something inside you that doesn't quite fit the logic? Have you ever, in the silence of the night, noticed a longing that has no name, a feeling that you've traveled paths your feet have never walked? Have you ever looked at the sky and, for a moment, been sure you're not here for the first time? Where do these feelings come from? How can you explain it when your soul knows but your mind doubts? Maybe you've never said it out loud. Maybe you're afraid it sounds too strange, too sensitive, too deep for a world that seems to run on autopilot. But what if I told you that all of this might just be the beginning of an awakening? A quiet invitation to look inside and search for answers that no one else can give but you. Today, I'm not going to hand you ready-made solutions or absolute certainties. I want to invite you on a journey, a path of inner awareness, where questions matter more than answers. Get ready to dive deep. Close your eyes if you want. Feel. Allow yourself to remember what was never spoken but always kept somewhere inside you. If you've ever felt this way, if you identify with these inexplicable sensations, like this video, subscribe to the channel and share your experiences in the comments. Your story might be a lighthouse for another soul that's also searching for meaning. Let's go on this journey together. Imagine walking into a place for the first time and suddenly everything seems familiar. The scent of the room, the texture of the walls, the sound of footsteps echoing down the corridor, as if you'd been here before, even without any rational memory to explain it. Or meeting someone and feeling within seconds an inexplicable closeness, as if you were reconnecting with an old friend lost in time. These are the well-known déjà vu, but they go beyond just memory lapses. They are echoes of memories that don't belong to the brain, but to the soul. Edgar Cayce used to say that the soul carries records of all the experiences lived, in different bodies, at different times. It's like life is a big book, and each existence is a chapter. Now think, have you experienced situations like that? Have you ever felt a memory bubbling up out of nowhere, bringing feelings, images, even lessons you don't know where they came from? Don't rush to look for logical explanations. Sometimes the soul's recognition happens in quiet flashes, in feelings that escape logic but remain alive in the heart. Allow yourself to search, among the lines of your own story, for those memories that aren't in your brain but might be valuable clues on your journey beyond time. Have you ever cried from someone else's pain, even if you barely know them? Have you ever felt the weight of a charged atmosphere, or been moved by the happiness of a stranger? For many old souls, empathy isn't just a personality trait, it's an inheritance from many lives. It's as if your heart has expanded so much through all these experiences that now it's impossible not to feel the other as part of you. Sometimes this sensitivity is so intense it can become exhausting. Crowded places, fights, sad news, all of these weigh more than they should. A movie, a song, even the tone of someone's voice can trigger a wave of emotions that don't seem to belong only to you. You feel, you absorb, and often you can't explain why. But this increased empathy isn't a weakness. It's the strength of someone who has known pain and joy in many forms. It comes from a soul that has learned, life after life, to recognize humanity in every look and to be moved by even the smallest beauties of everyday life. If you feel this way, know that you're not alone. Your sensitivity is a sign of deep life experience, of a soul that's already walked through many inner and outer worlds. There's a feeling that's hard to explain, being a stranger in your own land. Maybe you walk down the streets that you should call home, but deep down you feel like you're just passing through. It's like being a visitor, watching everything with the eyes of someone who remembers other places, other times, other lives. That feeling often comes with a subtle loneliness, not just a lack of company, but a lack of belonging. It's like the world around you is made of a different material than your own. Conversations seem superficial. Common interests don't spark your enthusiasm. You feel that life is just a kind of temporary return, as if you have a purpose to fulfill before moving on. Edgar Cayce called this the return syndrome, the impression that you're living just another part of a long journey of the soul. Those who feel this displacement often also carry a silent mission, a deep desire to contribute, to make a difference, to learn something essential before moving on. If you recognize yourself in these words, know that your feeling isn't empty. It's the echo of a soul in transit, carrying with it the wisdom and marks of many journeys. From an early age, there's a question inside you that never goes away. Why? It's not enough to accept things as they are, or to just go with the flow without questioning. Something is pulsing, restless, provoking you. You want to understand what lies beneath the surface, the real meaning of things, the reason for existence, what's beyond what the eyes can see. Maybe to others this seems like too much curiosity or even a philosophical trait. But deep down, you know it's not just a desire to know, it's a thirst for meaning. It's as if there's a void that isn't filled by easy answers or ready-made explanations. You look for depth in conversations, in relationships, in studies. You want to know what moves people, what shapes destiny, what connects humanity. This restlessness can be lonely at times, but it's also what drives you to grow, to search, to never settle. It's the call of the soul, which has already experienced the superficial and now longs for the essential. And sometimes the questions are more valuable than the answers, because it's in asking that you get closer to your truth. If you feel this thirst, embrace it. Don't fear your doubts. They are like compasses. They are the voice of your soul, asking to remember, to awaken, to go beyond the obvious. Have you ever found yourself fascinated by a time you never lived? Have you ever had an inexplicable passion for distant cultures, for languages you've never studied, for symbols and music that feel familiar for no apparent reason? Or maybe a deep fear of places, situations, or objects that don't make any logical sense in this life? These attractions, or aversions, could be clues to past experiences. Recurring dreams with ancient landscapes, spontaneous talents for activities you've never practiced, an almost magical ease of learning certain languages or understanding customs from other peoples. All of these might just be your soul whispering memories of other lives. Edgar Cayce spoke about the soul's markings, talents, phobias, passions, and even blocks that span time and appear in new lives. Sometimes a simple trip, a book, an old song can trigger intense feelings of nostalgia or recognition. Don't underestimate these signals. They might be windows to forgotten chapters of your journey. Think about which themes, places, or eras attract you without any explanation. What deep down feels yours even if it never was part of your current story? Sometimes the answer lies beyond logic, just waiting to be felt. Since you were a child, have you felt like you saw the world with different eyes? While your peers enjoyed simple games, you loved to observe, to think, and to question the meaning of things. Maybe people called you too old for your age, or said you were serious, reserved, introspective, but inside there was something more, an ancient awareness, a wisdom that couldn't fit into such a small body. Old souls carry this trait, a precocious maturity, a capacity to advise, to understand deep pains and joys even without having experienced enough to justify it, a taste for solitude, for reading, for contemplation, feeling comfortable with yourself, not fearing silence or emptiness. Sometimes this maturity can push people away and create a sense of isolation, but it is also a source of strength, understanding, and empathy. You see patterns, you look beyond appearances, and you understand what many might take a long time to discover. And even if your journey feels lonely at times, it is rich with meaning. If you recognize yourself in that early wisdom, celebrate it. It's a gift from past lives, a sign of a soul that has traveled many paths and now returns stronger and more aware. Inside you, there's a search that isn't satisfied with easy answers nor with ready-made dogmas. It doesn't matter if you grew up in a religious home or an atheist one. At some point, that inner call became stronger than any tradition. Spirituality for you is an intimate, quiet territory where the questions are as sacred as the answers. You feel an invisible connection with something bigger, even if you can't name it. In moments of calm, a deep peace washes over you, as if the soul recognized a home beyond time. Your intuition shows up in the details, that certainty about people and situations even before you know them, the shiver that warns you, the impulse guiding you away from danger, the premonition that proves true. For the old soul, intuition isn't superstition, it's memory. It's the wisdom accumulated through many experiences, whispering in the ear of your current consciousness. You notice patterns, you feel the energies around you, and you can tell truths from lies without much effort. And above all, You accept the mystery of life with a calm heart, understanding that not everything can be explained, but everything can be felt. If you walk this spiritual path, know that your journey is unique but full of invisible companions. Trust your feelings. They're your silent guide, your secret compass pointing toward what really matters. Some people enter our lives as if they've been waiting for us. Your eyes meet, and in an instant, everything makes sense, or everything falls apart, only to be rebuilt. Have you ever met someone who, without any explanation, made you feel like you were reuniting? An indescribable familiarity, or even an immediate aversion, like it, was as if your history together stretched back a long time. These encounters are more than just coincidences. Edgar Cayce talked about soul agreements, meetings from other lives, karmic bonds that span existences. Intense relationships, whether of love or conflict, can be opportunities for healing, learning, or liberation. Sometimes that sudden friendship or overwhelming romance carries the energy of old reunions, promises made before birth, lessons that need to be experienced again. Notice how certain people change the course of your journey. Sometimes words aren't even necessary. A touch, a glance, even silence says it all. And when the experience is tough, when pain shows up, remember that these reunions are also there to help you grow, to transform, to forgive. Have you ever felt that someone was placed in your path for a greater reason? Have you ever experienced meetings that changed your life forever? Share in the comments. Your story might reflect another soul's search for understanding. If you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell to keep joining us on this journey. Your presence here shows that, even if we've never met, we're together. Maybe, listening to all this, you've recognized little signs in your own story. Memories that aren't yours, a painful empathy, the feeling of not belonging, the thirst for answers, inexplicable passions and fears, precocious maturity, sharp intuition, encounters that seem destined. The truth is, deep down, it's not about proving anything, it's about feeling. The soul's journey is made up of silent memories, guiding intuitions, and doubts that free you. We don't need certificates to know who we really are. We just need to allow ourselves to remember, or at least to imagine. Because it's in that space between what we know and the mystery that the soul grows, awakens, and recognizes itself. I invite you to look inside, with courage and tenderness, to recognize the signs in your own story, to value everything that makes you unique, and above all, to share. Like this video, leave a comment telling which of these signs you've experienced, and subscribe so you can continue this journey of self-discovery with a community of wandering souls like you. Together we are stronger. Together we light each other's paths. And maybe we help someone else remember what has always been inside. Before we finish, close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight and the lightness of these words echoing inside you. Maybe, in the silence that follows, a memory will surface. A scene from childhood, a forgotten dream, the feeling of having already lived something that never really happened. Allow yourself to acknowledge it, without judgment, without haste, just by feeling. The journey of the soul is ancient. It can't be explained in a straight line, nor is it limited to what science can measure. It unfolds like a river, sometimes calm, sometimes stormy, but always moving forward, always seeking the sea. And just as waters find invisible paths underneath the earth, the soul also finds subtle ways to manifest in dreams, in talents, in love, in fears, in unanswered questions. Edgar Cayce used to say, "The mind is the builder. What you believe, feel, and dream builds your reality." So don't be afraid to dream big, to search beyond what the eyes can see. Your quest for meaning is legitimate. Your intuition is valuable. Your sensitivity is a gift. And all of these signs together are pieces of a much larger mosaic, the unique story of your soul. Maybe you wonder, what if it's all just imagination? What if there's no reincarnation, no past lives, no soul mission? And what if it's all just a deep desire to feel special, to be part of something bigger? But even if it were only imagination, think about it. How many times has our life been transformed by an idea, a dream, or a story? Sometimes it's the mystery itself that drives us, that pushes us to grow, to care for each other, to become our best selves. The soul doesn't need proof. It needs space to bloom. It needs to be heard, to be felt, to be respected. And every time you acknowledge one of these signs, every time you accept your sensitivity, your longing for meaning, your intuition, you're taking one more step toward your own awakening. The next time you feel that inexplicable déjà vu or get emotional for no apparent reason, remember, maybe it's just your soul telling you that it's been down this road before. When loneliness gets heavy, when the feeling of not belonging is overwhelming, know that you're not alone. There are millions of souls walking beside you, quiet, sensitive, searching for meaning in the little things. And if at some point you catch someone's eye and feel a deep recognition, don't run away. Allow yourself to live that encounter, whether it's brief or intense. We're all travelers, crossing the roads of time, reconnecting, and helping each other remember who we truly are. So don't dim your light to fit into the world. Don't lessen your shine to please those who haven't yet learned to see beyond the surface. Your soul is old, wise, and full of stories to tell. And if you've come this far, it's because you're ready to take another step on your journey. Reflect, which of these signs hit you the hardest? What did your soul say to you during this video? Share in the comments. Your experience might be the key to someone else's awakening. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join this community of seekers. Here, every story matters, every question is welcome, and every soul is respected. Like, share, subscribe. But most of all, keep searching, keep feeling, keep growing. After all, the journey doesn't end here. It only starts over with each new awakening. And remember, there isn't a right or wrong way to feel. There's only the path, the landscape, the wind, and you walking, remembering, awakening a little more each day. Thank you for being here, for being part of this circle of wandering souls. Until next time, and until then, listen to the whispers of your own heart. They know the way back home.